With all proceeds going to the Neighborhood Care Center No Fee Grocery and the Clinton High School Student Activity Fund. Tickets are $50 each or buy a table of 8 for $360. Tickets can be purchased at the Clinton High School office during school day business hours. Help WHOW raise money for these two special causes and watch the debut of the WHOW 75th anniversary video Saturday, November 12th at the Clinton Country Club. Get your tickets now.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Terry Ferguson is the DeWitt County Board Chair. And my guest in studio this morning. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Seth.
Perfect day for you to come on in. You're all washed out there.
We're all washed out today.
Yeah, no question. Well, hey, thanks for making time for us as always. And let's follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. And I thought highlight out of that meeting was the discussion on some revamped emergency alerts things going on in the county. Tell us about this, Terry.
Yes, the power plant owns and maintains the warning signs in the county, or the warning sirens in the county, and
which I did not ever realize that. I didn't know that. That's why is that?
Because of they got to protect and be able to warn the citizens within 10 miles of the plant should there be an event that takes place. But the technology is moving forward on that, and they're going to go with a system that will send an alert to all the phones, cell phones. They'll send out emails to the individuals. It'll show up on your computers, your laptops, your cell phones, your landlines.
Landlines is probably the key for a lot of people because
it is. And it seemed very logical there with the discussion last night. They offered to, or Thursday night, they offered to turn the sirens over to the county if we chose to keep them. But there's a little issue of cost. There's an expense of $2,000 to $3,000 per year per tower to maintain them and have them certified. We thought, well, it's time to move into the 21st century. Although after the meeting, I heard from some people that live out in the hinterlands of the county. We do have areas here in the county that has terrible cell phone service, terrible internet service, and they're concerned that they don't have a landline anymore, and they're concerned about not being able to be alerted. And I think it's something we're going to have to talk about and make some decisions on. I know up around the Swisher Hill area, right in the center of the county, up north of the power plant, I got a friend up there that was unable to have any internet service and put up his own 100-foot tower so he could get line of sight service from MR systems.
Right.
And there's some other folk. There's a lot of houses up there, and that whole area has terrible cell service, terrible internet service.
Yeah.
And I understand there's an area out by Waynesville that may be the same way.
Right. Yeah. So got to address that. And from my perspective, the times we're living in, it's unbelievable. We still have areas of our country that don't have good internet or cell phone signals. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of unbelievable to me. But be all that as it may, Terry, I would think this would be a pretty quick transition, given that, it would be, since it would be a basically kind of instant notification type of a service from whoever it may be. Is it EMA or is it CENTCOM? I
think they'll all be involved. All
yeah.
Of the above. Yeah.
But I mean, you would, I'm not saying it would be quick in terms of, we could turn around the first of the year and do it, but it's not going to be one of those like 5-year projects. I wouldn't think.
No, I think a lot of the technologies on hand, it just involves, as I would see it, as generating new software and, making it work. I think it'll be able to more give a more detailed warning, like if there's a tornado warning in the western half of DeWitt County, you'd be able to spot that area. Whereas with the sirens, you light up all the sirens in the county.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to alert people on the western side of the county for a storm on the eastern side of the county. So
true.
yeah. So Terry, with this, is this going to be a cost at all on the county's end of things to implement this? How about those things?
No, I'm not sure of those details. I think probably the major part of the expense is going to be on the power plant. They're going to let the county agencies join in their program and utilize the software.
I see. Very good. So, Terry, as it relates to that topic, anything else that we didn't touch on there?
No, I think we got that pretty well covered.
All right. Very good. Let's dive into some other things going on within DeWitt County here, and consolidation of some districts here in the county. What's going on with this?
Yeah, the legislature put forth a bill that would require all the townships to hold 3 meetings with citizenry to evaluate whether or not they want to merge with other entities. And Harp Township, and they also have to make a report back to the county board. Harp Township has completed their process here in the last several months, and it was unanimous by the participants to just leave well enough alone that they were satisfied with the service that the township provided, and didn't want to monkey with something that was working.
What would be the benefits of doing something like this?
Well, I think the theory is to save money. It's when you talk about township government and for the rural communities, it's there's not a lot of overhead and labor and costs and such. Our supervisors have had the same salary for 30 years, and
so is it kind of a net neutral for DeWitt County then?
Net neutral. The idea of merging the road districts, the theory is that you could probably save some money, but during the winter, when the snow's blowing and everything, if you eliminated possibly half the snow removal equipment in the county, the people that live out in the county wouldn't put up with that. Like in Harp Township, we only have, I believe, 5 or 6 farmers that actually live and farm in the township. The rest of the residents are people that work in town, have to get to work. They don't want to be sitting there in the snowbank for 3 days while they wait for the truck to come and plow them out.
Right. I see. Very good. So when it comes to that, that's just something you file a report with the state and say well, you don't even file it with the state. That's
what's kind of weird. You file it with the county board. So I don't really know.
So you file a report for yourself, basically.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, I guess welcome to Illinois government, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Terry, again, our guest in the studio today, DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson. Talk to me about the addendum for an engineering contract for Revere Road, County Highway 1 for an environmental survey. What's going on here?
Well, I guess when you get federal dollars, there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through.
I just find that hard to believe.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, really a mystery.
But they have to identify any potential hazards in the roadway where they're going to tear up the road and rebuild it. I guess the big concern is the railroad crossings, and that there might have been some incidents with the railroad back through the years. They might have had a spill or something. And you gotta go through a whole lot of testing to. No doubt it'll show up that there's nothing wrong. You just go ahead and tear it up and build it. But that's just one of the hoops you got to jump through to get the federal dollars to replace the roadway.
What is the timeline on this project? We've been hearing about it for a few years now.
Yeah, well, I believe it's finally going to take place next year.
Hey, awesome. I was just out there a few days ago too. It's starting to get a little rough. Not that it hasn't been, but that'll be nice. And also noticed some like cleanup stuff going on at one of the properties off the road there.
Yeah, they've been cleaning that property up for several months.
Yeah. What's going on there, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I think it's the Trimble's plumbing and
yeah, I noticed those trucks out there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. So, Terry, anything else on meeting agenda? Anything we missed there?
No, I think we pretty well got it.
Tell you what, let's take a time out. Come back, talk some more. DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson, my guest in studio this morning. More to come on the morning show.
WHOW.
This is Connie from Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton. Did you know we're a nonprofit thrift store helping local people in need? We're only able to do this when people like you shop and donate. Follow us on Facebook or DeWittDailyNews.com to hear our weekly sales.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback at Utterback Real Estate, and we've got you covered.
It's finally time for pumpkin spice and coveralls,
No, I mean covering all of our buyers and sellers' needs.
like pumpkin spice coffee and caramel covered apples.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Get covered by clicking the Utterback Real Estate icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Farmers are adopting carbon farming practices to benefit their fields and their wallets. Planting cover crops and reducing tillage can address agronomic challenges like resistant weeds and low soil fertility, while reducing farmers' input costs. These same practices can also increase soil's capacity to store carbon and generate high-value carbon credits with Carbon by Indigo. Greg Wohl of Indiana is one of these farmers. He enrolled with Carbon by Indigo in 2020, and the benefits are clear.
The main result is lower overhead on equipment, labor, fuel cost. This is what we love to do, to no-till, to build our soils up, and to get paid for it on top. Carbon credits was a no-brainer.
Curious how much you could earn from farming carbon? Get an estimate in less than a minute at indigoag.com/radio. Fortify your soil and your bottom line with Carbon by Indigo. Visit indigoag.com/radio today. Terms and conditions apply. See program agreement for details.
The Miller Media Group is making it easy for you to show your support for the many people impacted in Florida by Hurricane Ian. Click the Florida Disaster Fund link on the blue menu bar of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or DeWittDailyNews.com and make your contribution to the Florida Disaster Fund. Many have lost their homes, their personal belongings, and in many cases, their loved ones. It's going to take time to rebuild. Please do whatever you can to support this effort by clicking the Florida Disaster Fund link on the blue menu bar of DeWittDailyNews.com or TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, and good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson. We follow up the last Thursday night, DeWitt County Board meeting. Budget went on file, Terry. How's the budget look?
The budget looks really good. We had a few pleasant surprises of increase in funding from some sources. The personal property replacement tax, our expected revenues for this year is up considerably from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
The overall funding, we had a surprise from the IMRF retirement expenditure. The program sends us how much we got to pay each year, and it's based on the number of people you've got retired, the number of people that you expect to retire. And I guess maybe over the last few years we've been hit with some increases in that because of we've had a lot of retirements. Now then, I guess we have a younger workforce, so our IMRF expense went down considerably.
That helps.
So yeah, so in total, our county tax levy for the people of residents and property owners in DeWitt County is going to be down a couple cents. Last year it was about 72 cents. This year it'll be a little over 70 cents.
Gotcha. The big talking point for the last couple of years now has been this safety legislation, which is going to impact a few revenue streams for the county. How did you factor in the uncertainty there?
Well, we worked with the sheriff and the state's attorney to they put together their numbers and came up with what they thought it was going to be. And I guess maybe we'll know whether we did it right a year from now. But I know the county is working on with a legal effort to stop the Safety Act, and before it takes place, the state's attorneys joined a group that's trying to get a court date to have it heard and see if we can get that part of the bill eliminated.
Yeah. Well, we'll have, I know I've got Dan Markwell, our state's attorney, and Sheriff Mike Walker coming on in a week or two here to talk about that effort as well. So we'll hear from them on that. But just in terms of, Terry, the budget overall, sounds like things are in a pretty good place. Just overall thoughts, final thoughts on the budget.
I just want to thank the effort of the department heads and the elected officials trying to frugally operate their agencies, and it takes a lot of work to put together a budget. Our county board administrator and Melanie Tilley, the finance chairman, and all the department heads and officials work in tandem to put together the budget, and it came out pretty well.
How much did ARPA dollars help this budget?
Not much. We did utilize some of it last year, but we did not include any of the ARPA money for the operational portion of our budget. We at one time we were talking about some of the furniture in the buildings is 40 years old. It's time to upgrade it, but we're going to upgrade that with our normal maintenance schedule and local dollars.
Sure.
We're going to save the ARPA funds. Excuse me. We do have an issue with the roof on the jail. It's probably going to be needing to be addressed here in the next year or so. I think we're going to keep the ARPA dollars dry so we can have that available for that project.
Sure.
Daily operations will be covered by the county budget.
All right, very good. Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, my guest in studio this morning. Terry, talk to me about the potential for carbon dioxide storage in DeWitt County. What's this all about?
Well,
or what is this? And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the CO2 has been declared to be the climate damaging product. And the ethanol plants in the country give off a lot of CO2, and the process of fermentation and the burning of the fuel to fuel the factories. There's some money that's been set aside in the Recovery Act to allow a payment for these companies to store that product and not let it get out into the environment. And there's a proposal to have a pipeline interconnecting all the ethanol plants in Iowa and Illinois and shipping the CO2 to central Illinois. Apparently we have the perfect geological structure to store that in the underground caverns, whatever the makeup of the geological layers. They're proposing to inject the CO2 down about a mile deep in here in central Illinois. They looked at a site in Christian County that wasn't well received. They're also looking at a site in Logan County and DeWitt County, and we'll be getting some more information on that probably in January.
So with this, is this something that the county would have to approve? Would it be adjust zoning things?
It would be a zoning issue. They would require a rezone to do that. They've been doing this in Macon County for the last 10 years. They've already injected 1 million tons of CO2 into the geological structure there in Macon County.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and it's a big process. So you know, we got to find out more details. There's just been some feelers sent out. I was contacted. We had a meeting with the developer, with the zoning officer and myself, and looking at what might have to be done in DeWitt County. And you know, it would require a rezone, and you know, rezoning is not something we take very lightly. So you know, there's a lot of hoops to go through, and I wouldn't be overly optimistic that the project's going to come through.
Sure. Well, would it be a financial benefit for the county?
It'd be a good financial benefit to the county. They said they were offering a payment per well. They were looking at doing a 3,000 or three wells on 5,000 acres of ground there in DeWitt County to inject the CO2 in, and there'd be a significant payment per well to the county per year.
Significant in the like ballpark dollar amount? Do we have a ballpark dollar amount on those?
They mentioned like $250,000 per well.
Per well, yeah. Well, and that's one of those things that probably doesn't depreciate, does it?
No, it would be on an escalating contract, I would assume, to allow for inflation. But, there's a lot of concerns about the safety, what happens if it, you know, if it starts moving upward into the water table, you know, this and that. I jokingly said, well, I guess everybody'd be drinking Perrier bubbly water instead of well water.
Terry, with that, got to let you go, my friend. Hopefully things dry out and you get back in the field.
Yeah, well, you know, the beans are a little too dry anyway, so this rain will help swell them back up.
There you go, Terry. Always good to talk to you, sir. Thanks for making time for us. DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson, my guest in studio with us. Morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way on the morning show.